the Mind Over Stoic audio series.
Welcome to a new Mind Over Stoic audio series, where we delve into true crime stories that highlight remarkable resilience and mental fortitude. I'm your host, Valentino, and today we embark on a journey through one of the most chilling and enduring mysteries in American criminal history. As we unfold this dark chapter of history, we'll reflect on how Stoic principles of endurance, rationality, and acceptance can guide us through even the most daunting challenges. So, sit back as we take you into the heart of a mystery that still haunts us today. This is Unbreakable, Enduring the Shadows, the Zodiac Killer. The story of the Zodiac Killer begins in the late 1960s, a time of social upheaval and change in America. But in the picturesque and seemingly serene communities of Northern California, a series of brutal murders would soon shatter the peace and instill a sense of pervasive fear. The Zodiac Killer's reign of terror officially began on December 20th, 1968, with the horrific murder of high school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday on a remote road in Benicia, California. This was only the beginning. Over the next few years, the Zodiac would claim responsibility for at least 5 confirmed murders, though he would boast in his cryptic letters that the true number was far higher. The victims varied in age and background, but the brutality of the crimes and the calculated nature of the attacks were a constant. The Zodiac's weapon of choice ranged from a 9mm semi-automatic pistol to a knife, and his attacks occurred in seemingly random, isolated locations, lovers' lanes, secluded parks, and quiet streets. What made the Zodiac truly terrifying was not just his violent acts, but his taunting letters sent to local newspapers.
Zodiac, a symbol that now stands for terror in San Francisco.
These letters contained cryptic ciphers, ominous threats, and detailed accounts of his crimes, each letter signed with a chilling symbol, a crosshair-like circle with intersecting lines. The Zodiac's messages were designed to create chaos and fear, not just in the victims' communities, but throughout the entire region. For those living in Northern California during this time, the fear was palpable. Parents kept their children indoors, young couples avoided secluded areas, and a dark cloud of uncertainty loomed over the community. But despite the terror, life had to go on. People had to find ways to endure and carry on with their daily lives, even as the Zodiac's shadow loomed large. Brian Hartnell, a survivor of one of the Zodiac Killer attacks. Brian was a 20-year-old resident of California's Napa County, described as lively, cheerful, and always willing to help others. He had great aspirations for the future. On September 27, 1969, he decided to spend the day with his longtime friend, Cecilia Ann Shepard, at Lake Berryessa in Napa County. While enjoying a quiet afternoon by the lake, they were approached by a masked gunman claiming to have escaped prison and needing a car to drive to Mexico. Despite Brian offering his wallet and car keys, the man showed no interest. Instead, he chatted calmly before suddenly restraining the couple with a clothesline and attacking them with a knife.
Oh my God, he has a gun.
Don't move. I want your money and your car keys.
Okay. Okay.
Thankfully, a fisherman heard their screams and called for help.
And the guy told us to take the money. He said, I don't want it. Says, all I want to do is kill you people. I have to kill you. And then he stabbed the girl. So,
boy was conscious enough to give you a description of the man?
Oh, yes, the boy thought he was going to wasn't going to make it. He wanted to give a description to the guy best he could. About the best he could give us, that he had a hood over his face, and he was a big guy, 6 foot or better, over 200 pounds.
First responders found both victims alive, but critically injured. Cecilia, however, succumbed to her injuries after a few days, while Brian made a surprising recovery.
Well, through the whole thing, like I mentioned before, at the beginning, I did think I was going to die. And so from that moment on, one has to have certain goals that you have to set. The first goal, of course, was to live. I suppose the second goal was to get untied. The next one was to get help. From getting help, getting to the hospital. You know, you have to have a successive set of goals. And if you can keep this going and you can keep your mind active, whether you die or not, you're at least psychologically attuned, whether you're in shock or not. If you can keep arguing with yourself, praying, doing anything to keep your mind off of yourself, or at least just not lapsing back and just saying, well, it's no use.
These personal accounts highlight the strength and determination of ordinary people living through extraordinary times. Their ability to endure, to support each other, and to maintain a semblance of normalcy in the face of such terror is a testament to the enduring human spirit. Next, we'll delve into the efforts of the investigators, who, despite immense pressure and a growing sense of public panic, maintained their composure and rationality in their pursuit of the Zodiac Killer. Stay with us as Unbreakable continues.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I will be hosting some of the Unbreakable stories on the Mind Over Stoic audio series. I hope you're enjoying this episode and we want to hear from you. Please reach out and send us your comments and suggestions at www.mindoverstoic.com, and we will reach out to everyone individually if you would like a response. Your voice matters and you are truly appreciated. Now back to the show.
As the Zodiac Killer's reign of terror continued, the pressure on law enforcement and investigators intensified. With each new letter and every unsolved murder, the public's fear and frustration grew.
A search goes on in San Francisco for the man known as the Zodiac Killer.
The Zodiac Killer seems to crave publicity. He sent letters and cryptograms to newspapers and the police, recounting his crimes, threatening more murders, and making Bay Area residents very edgy.
We're just about in the same position. We're still following a tremendous amount of leads. We're getting a tremendous amount of information every day, not only from the Bay Area, but from all over the nation. As you know, we have heard from him ourselves through our local press, and recently he has written to an attorney here in San Francisco, but as far as any specific piece of physical evidence or any specific individual, we're no closer than we were.
In this climate of panic and chaos, the investigators faced a daunting task: to remain rational and composed in their relentless pursuit of a seemingly invisible killer. The Zodiac Killer case brought together some of the most dedicated and determined minds in law enforcement. Detectives from the San Francisco Police Department, the Vallejo Police Department, and the Napa County Sheriff's Office, among others, collaborated in their efforts to catch the elusive murderer. The case required not only traditional detective work, but also the analysis of cryptic ciphers and an understanding of the psychological profile of the killer. The Zodiac's letters were filled with puzzles and threats designed to provoke and unsettle. Yet the investigators knew that reacting emotionally could lead to mistakes. They had to maintain their composure and focus on the facts, no matter how provocative the killer's communications were. Maintaining rationality in the face of such a high-profile and emotionally charged case was no easy feat. The media frenzy surrounding the Zodiac Killer only added to the pressure. Reporters were eager for any new development, and the public demanded quick results. In this environment, the detectives' commitment to Stoic principles of rationality and emotional control became crucial. The investigators employed a variety of strategies to keep their focus. They meticulously analyzed the Zodiac ciphers, consulting with cryptographers and experts to decode the messages. They followed up on countless leads, interviewed witnesses, and examined forensic evidence with painstaking detail. Their rational approach was driven by the need to find the truth, no matter how elusive it seemed. The Zodiac ciphers, in particular, tested the investigators' patience and resolve. Each new message was a challenge, a puzzle that required both intellectual rigor and emotional detachment. Yet, the detectives persevered, driven by their commitment to justice and their belief in rationality over emotion. In our next segment, we'll turn our attention to the families of the victims. We'll explore how they coped with their grief and the uncertainty surrounding the killer's identity, embodying the Stoic principle of acceptance of fate. Join us as Unbreakable continues. The shadow cast by the Zodiac Killer extended far beyond the immediate victims and their communities. The families of those who were murdered faced a unique and devastating grief, compounded by the uncertainty and horror of not knowing if justice would ever be served. In this segment, we explore the Stoic principle of acceptance of fate and how these families navigated their sorrow and the enduring mystery of the Zodiac Killer. For the families of the Zodiac Killer's victims, the pain of their loss was immense. Each murder left behind grieving parents, siblings, children, and friends who had to find a way to cope with their profound grief. The Stoic principle of acceptance of fate, recognizing that some things are beyond our control and finding peace within ourselves, became a vital part of their journey. Acceptance of fate doesn't mean resignation or defeat. For many of the victims' families, it meant finding the strength to continue living, to honor their loved ones' memories, and to support one another through the darkest of times. It was a journey of finding peace amidst the chaos, and of drawing strength from within. In the face of such profound loss, the families developed various coping mechanisms. Some turned to faith, others to community support, and many found solace in small personal rituals. These acts of remembrance and connection became crucial in their process of acceptance and healing. The Stoic acceptance of fate teaches us to recognize and embrace the things we cannot change. For these families, it meant accepting the reality of their loss and the possibility that the Zodiac Killer might never be brought to justice. This acceptance was not about giving up, but about finding a way to live with their grief and move forward. In our final segment, we'll explore the enduring mystery of the Zodiac Killer and the ongoing efforts to bring closure to this chilling case. How do we reconcile with the unknown, and what can we learn from the persistent search for justice? Stay with us as Unbreakable continues. Are you looking to gain clarity and focus? Ancient wisdom meets modern challenges on the Mind Over Stoic audio series. Informative and inspirational yet concise episodes on Greek philosophy are sure to help you overcome life's obstacles so you can thrive in today's ever-changing world. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app and start transforming your life. The Mind Over Stoic. See you there. As decades have passed since the Zodiac Killer's last confirmed communication, the case remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American criminal history. Despite the relentless efforts of investigators, the identity of the Zodiac Killer has never been definitively confirmed. In this final segment, we explore the ongoing search for the truth and the Stoic acceptance of the unknown. Over the years, advancements in forensic science, renewed investigative efforts, and the dedication of amateur sleuths have kept the search for the Zodiac's identity alive. The quest for answers continues, driven by a relentless pursuit of justice and a desire to provide closure for the victims' families. Advancements in DNA technology have provided new avenues for investigation. In recent years, cold case units have re-examined evidence with modern techniques, hoping to find the breakthrough that has eluded investigators for so long. The persistent efforts of both professionals and amateurs alike underscore the enduring impact of the Zodiac case on the collective consciousness. The quest for the Zodiac Killer's identity is a testament to human persistence and the desire for justice. Yet as time passes, the possibility that the killer may never be identified becomes more likely. This brings us to the Stoic principle of accepting what we cannot change and finding peace with the unknown. Stoicism teaches us that there are things beyond our control, fate, the actions of others, and sometimes the answers we seek. Accepting this uncertainty does not mean giving up the pursuit of truth, but rather finding a way to live with the possibility that the full story may never be revealed. The acceptance of the unknown is a profound aspect of the human experience. For the families, investigators, and those captivated by the Zodiac case, it means finding a balance between the relentless search for answers and the peace that comes with acceptance. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of Stoic philosophy. As we reflect on the Zodiac Killer case through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we see how the principles of endurance, rationality, and acceptance have guided those affected by this enduring mystery. The investigators' rational approach, the family's acceptance of their fate, and the continued pursuit of the truth all embody the strength and resilience inherent in Stoicism. The story of the Zodiac Killer is not just one of fear and violence, but also one of human perseverance and the enduring quest for justice. It reminds us that while we may not always control the outcome, we can control our response and find strength in acceptance. Before we close this episode, we want to take a moment to honor and remember the victims of the Zodiac Killer. As we strive to understand and uncover the truths behind these crimes, let us never forget the victims and the impact on their loved ones. They are the heart of this story, and their legacies live on in the continued quest for justice and understanding. Each of these individuals we're about to mention have left an indelible mark on the lives of those who knew them. Their stories are not just a part of the Zodiac Killer case, but a reminder of the preciousness of life. We honor their memories and extend our deepest sympathies to their families and friends who continue to carry the weight of their loss. Betty Lou Jensen, 16 years old, high school student with a bright future ahead of her, loved by friends and family. David Faraday, 17 years old, a dedicated student and athlete, remembered for his kindness and ambition. Darlene Ferrin, 22 years old, a young mother and beloved friend, known for her vibrant personality and compassion. Michael Mageau, survivor. Survived the attack that took the life of Darlene Ferrin, courageously sharing his experience to help the investigation. Cecilia Shepard, 22 years old, a talented student with a passion for art, remembered for her creativity and warmth. Brian Hartnell, survivor, survived the attack that took Cecilia Shepard's life, demonstrating remarkable strength and resilience. Paul Stein, 29 years old, a dedicated cab driver and family man, tragically killed while providing for his loved ones. You will never be forgotten. Our journey doesn't end here. Unbreakable continues to bring you thought-provoking episodes that merge Stoic wisdom with real-life challenges. Whether it's through exploring historical events, personal stories, or true crime mysteries, our goal is to help you navigate your own path with courage and clarity. If you found this episode compelling, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next installment of our True Crime series. We'll be uncovering more incredible stories of resilience and mental fortitude that will leave you inspired and reflective. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Stay stoic.
The Mind Over Stoic audio series.